overview of the syllabus for English 122, Composition 2. To get to the syllabus from Blackboard, you can do that a couple different ways. You can go to the Start Here menu and go to the syllabus. You can also go to the syllabus tool link over here, or it's also available in week 1. When you do get to the syllabus, it is available as a document file or a PDF. I'll try to have it available in other formats as well. For Composition 2, some highlights are that my office hours through Zoom will be 9:30 to 10:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and 1 to 2:30 on Tuesday and Thursday, and then by appointment. I'll try to be flexible and available for you. You can also contact me by email or by my cell phone. You may text or call me. When you do either, please tell me who you are and what class you are in. I do not save your contact information, so I will not know who you are every time. I do, so just keep that in mind, and it helps me figure out how to help you quicker. I have 90 students over 2 different classes, so that's kind of that. Anyway, our required textbooks, as I covered in the introduction video, the Word on College Reading and Writing, which is online, Seagull Handbook, Critical Thinking Handbook, which will be online, and then They Called Us Enemy by George Takei, which is the graphic memoir. Main things to point out is our core values at Edison State. We have communication skills, critical thinking, diversity, ethics, inquiry, respect for learning, interpersonal skills, and teamwork. So these are our foundational goals that link into our course goals of demonstrating formal research in both essay and research paper and argument. Use logic to analyze other arguments, analyze the work of writers, to demonstrate critical thinking, write a variety of research-based assignments, which demonstrate ability to think critically, evaluate sources, and to analyze content. Apply that critical thinking by evaluating book-length work of nonfiction, accept responsibility for your drafts, and then use MLA. So those are those main course goals, and they all link back to the core values. Main note on Composition 2, this is a research and argument course. We'll use research and logic, analyze things, and apply critical thinking. So it's not a literature class. You've probably already taken Comp 1, so you kind of know what to expect, but we just kind of build off of those things from Composition 1. It'll be a little more rigorous, a lot more writing, a lot more drafting, a lot more thinking. I think it's fun, but you might find it hard, and that's okay. These are things that we build through practice. We'll be doing a lot of research. You'll be reading things and moving on and finding other things related to those sources. We'll be writing a variety of papers. Some that'll be 1,000, some will be 1,500 words, and they'll be combine them into a major writing assignment. That's our research project. So that's the important thing to remember. Just like Composition 1, you'll be writing around 5,000 words. You'll probably end up writing a lot more. Students are turning in research projects that are about 15 to 20 pages long, and that's what we spend the bulk of the course on. It sounds intimidating, but we do it together, and we do it through a process, so keep that in mind. Let's see. In the course, we're going to have practice writing reviews, research report, editorials, and argument, and we'll also have a reflective capstone. In addition, we have, just like in Comp 1, weekly readings and discussion board responses. We'll also be doing summaries of the readings, so that's all what we're doing. We're going to be doing a lot of critiquing and analyzing culture, logic, and argument. Some of the things you're not going to agree with, and that is okay. Part of life is disagreeing with things and figuring out, how do we live with that? Do we confront it? Do we ignore it? What do we do? But we're here to think. I don't have a right answer for you, and I'm not going to provide you with a right answer, but point to what other people are saying. That we'll call it a dialogue or a discussion of these topics, and then we walk away with a judgment, and that might change later. We'll primarily be using discussion boards and summaries. Summaries are a for credit thing. You submit it, you get the credit. It just needs to have everything there. It needs to be about 150 to 200 words. I say 100 to 150, that's fine too. And a works cited entry. That's in MLA formatting. There are 4 journal assignments throughout this semester. that these are all built to help you think about the upcoming writing assignments. So it's more of a thinking exercise, not a writing exercise, but a thinking as you write. Let's see, all of our assignments are going to be turned in by 11:59 on the day that they are due. So that's important. So that's the end of the day. When we look at our assignments, we have our book review of They Called Us Enemy. It's about 1,500 words long for the review. We'll talk about how we do that. After that, we're going to be working on our research project. And this has been confusing to other people in the past because we work on it in sections. But you'll be writing a large paper in sections. We'll be turning in these sections individually as drafts, and it will be about 4,000 words long at least. There are 5 parts to this paper, so that's probably the confusing part because you're mainly used to writing single section papers that might be 3 to 4 pages long. That's what we do in Comp 1. Instead, this is a multi-section paper that has a section that's an overview, a review of literature, editorial analysis, a researched argument, and then a call to action. We'll be working through this course on how do you find the appropriate topic and how do you end up with a call to action. Basically, you're looking at something that needs to change. Well, how do you propose we make that change? So that's the bulk of the course. You'll be presenting that in a presentation and then providing feedback on that. So there'll be a lot of working together. Then our final assignment, the exam, is a capstone. It is about 1,000 word, I say 500 word explanation. But you might end up writing 1,000 words, and that's okay. But explanation and justification for your argument once you've received feedback. Let's see. Communication. We're in an online class. If you've not done one before, I'm very sorry that you're getting thrown into this, but email is the main way we communicate. We also need you to check in regularly through Blackboard. We'll submit everything through Blackboard. We'll be using Turnitin for our major works, which allows me to grade it online, allows me to make it so everything is clear. I can do all sorts of different things with Turnitin, and one of those is that we can do peer review through it. We can grade each other's papers or comment on each other's papers. So that's an important thing. We will try to follow the writing process of pre-writing, drafting, having a revision reflecting, and these 2 big things, a conference. In lieu of conferences, since we can't meet face-to-face, I will be providing feedback on your draft. So that's an important thing, and then we'll be doing peer review workshops. We need to make sure that we're doing these things. Also, we have a policy on late work, where I'll give you a 24-hour grace period because I am not sitting at my computer at 11:59 waiting for things to roll in. I'm in bed because I'm sane. I'm not insane. I'm not going to live my life waiting on papers, right? So I don't expect you to be doing that, but I want to make sure that you have time because we all have busy schedules. So just if you miss a deadline, turn it in the morning. All right, that's all I need you to do. You can let me know, and that's fine, but I'll be able to see it. Revisions, if you receive an 85% or lower, you may revise. Sometimes this might extend beyond the parameters of the course, the timeline of the 16 weeks, because I want to make sure that you have that time to do it. Let's see, this is 2020, so everything can go wrong. So save your work in more than one place. Upload to the hard drive. This is how old this policy is when I talk about memory sticks or burning things to the CDs, which hardly anyone does anymore. But it might be good for you to have alternative places where you can save your work. Cloud's fine. You can save things into Blackboard. That's a good thing about using Turnitin as well, is that you can download the files that you originally submitted them as, which is good. I don't know why I have attendance. I'm sorry. That's going to be in there. All right. For an online class, I want you checking in several times a week. This is not something that you can just do in 1 hour a week on Sunday night. We're doing this throughout the class. We're building things up. One of the big pieces of advice my students give is stay on schedule, check in regularly. If you get caught behind, contact me right away because it's hard to get caught back up. Same thing with working ahead. It's very difficult to do that because we're building on assignments, and you need to get my feedback to help you. And that's the important thing is a lot of students aren't checking feedback. So please make sure you're checking feedback. What's going to happen since we're online and this is 2020? Things are going to go wrong. If you have a week of missed assignments, I'm going to contact you by email. It's important to check your email, and most students don't, but make a habit to do that. After 2 weeks of missed work, I'll submit an academic alert. You'll receive a phone call from me and probably from an enrollment manager or academic advisor. After 3 weeks, I will send you another contact through email. If I hear nothing, I'll remove you from this course. Of course, going to have issues with financial aid and other things, so please be aware of that and just try to stay active. And contact me, right? I've already given you my email and cell phone. You can contact me. I prefer email because it generates a written record that is stored by the school, right? So that's an important thing. I usually respond within 12 hours. If I don't respond to you in 12 hours, just contact me again. You can text me, say, hey, did you get my email? And sometimes I think I respond to something and I don't. Keep in mind that if you contact me after 9, I might not get that message until the morning. I'm usually better at doing it or even around 10 o'clock, but don't call or text me after 10. That's just rude. Leave a message if you call me, that sort of thing, and just be aware. And wow, this is old. I said Skype. We're doing Zoom now, so same thing, right? We'll be doing video conferences. I say we use Blackboard Ultra, but instead we're going to use Zoom if you need to do that. And then change that as well. I'm sorry I didn't proofread this all the way. Group work, we'll be doing some group work. I'll be dividing you up into groups to help you brainstorm on your topics. That will be fun. Let's see, disability. If you have a disability that needs accommodation, especially if you're hearing impaired or visually impaired, that makes an online class very difficult. Let us know so we can provide you the appropriate accommodations. If you need alternative formats for any of the documents posted, please let me know as well, and I'll do my best to transfer those over. Let's see, we come down to academic integrity. You've probably been read the Riot Act on plagiarism all your life, but we'll have a quick definition of what plagiarism is, and that's right here. This is not a how-to, this is a warning and explanation. That's a joke there. Consequences for plagiarism are up to the instructor. My policies is that if you lack citations or if it's unintentionally plagiarized, meaning you just didn't cite, you get a 0 for the assignment. Intentional plagiarism, which is the submission of someone else's work, is failure for the course. We'll be using Turnitin to help you with that. Every draft will be submitted through Turnitin. You'll get an originality report, which will tell you whether or not something is or isn't problematic. We'll learn how to read those so you can fix your paper for the final draft. Since we're online, you'll need to contact technical support when things go wrong, because things will go wrong. You can do that in these variety of ways. And then finally, the breakdown of grades are this standard, and then our variety of assignments and points. We're looking at 1,500 points for the course. 800 points is just showing up. So a little over half the class is just showing up and turning these things in. I'm not really concerned about the quality of summaries, discussions, and journals as long as you're displaying that you are thinking, right? So you can have misspellings galore on your discussion boards. That is okay. These are drafts. These are going to be turned in and reviewed, and these are what you are sharing for your peer review. And then I will give you points as well for these sections of your paper. This sometimes changes. No, this doesn't change. So these are the major papers and research projects worth 200 points in major paper, the presentation on it, presentation and responses. So these are where a lot of points can be taken off. But usually if you are doing your work and keeping up with the class, you are going to pass, right? So that's an important thing to remember. Let's see, my final note is that I like to treat all my students individually. I'm sorry, not individually, I do that, but as equals. So we all have to follow the same policies. I can't be drafting exceptions for every single person for everything that's going on. That's unfair, especially if someone decides, well, they're not going to do all their work after week 4 and then writes me a sob story how they're not going to graduate or they're going to lose a scholarship. That's not fair to everybody else who made sacrifices to get their work done. So please keep that in mind. Short descriptions of types of papers for grades, and then the grading rubric, which is right here. It's my standard rubric, followed by the course schedule, which you've hopefully already seen. So that is our syllabus. I'm sorry it's a long video, but it's good to go through all of this. Please contact me when you have questions. Thank you very much.